All right, here we are. Game 4, Myth World Cup 2020 bottom bracket finals. My team, captained by LSO, same roster. Spoon has stayed in the game. And on this side of Paris, we have one substitution. So Kron has showed up. He's replaced Asmo as a sub. I would expect him to take similar roles. Paris was giving Asmo fairly normal just role player roles, which makes sense. You don't want to bench your key players when they've showed up for a sub. So certainly respect that. I expect Kron to get similar role player units. We've got Verminex, Vasazel, Monty, Kroon, Adren, and Captain. And then for my team side, same lineup as I already mentioned. So from a distro perspective, we've got Donsky on Archers. You've got myself, Karma, on a Thel Pack. We've got Tiri on a Forest Giant with Zell on some Archers, and Ars and Blade on... Ars and LSO on similar Thel Packs. So, interesting comments about this map. So these goals all come preloaded with a pus. So luckily for us, you won't see any pregame shenanigans where we try to figure out what's big or small. The thing with Forest Giants, they're incredibly overpowered. One Forest Giant could probably slap all of these Thel pretty easily and end up with like half health. Don't fact check me on that, Mythbusters. But point is, super powerful. If you get cornered near a Forest Giant and you don't have a pus goal, you're pretty much dead. Gas can freeze them, but gas are so slow. They basically just act as a deterrent to try to, if you've got them nearby, they can sort of get in the way, and hopefully the Forest Giant doesn't come slap you anyway. That said, if they do get pussed, it is a big deal. It takes a long time for them to unfreeze, and you can inflict a ton of damage. Fire arrows in particular do quite a bit. Look at the side of Paris. Looks like a similar trade. He does have more archers. And then he's got 5 dwarves. Can't do bottle pus on this. Only 3 dwarves, a little bit fewer archers, perhaps more gas, and then clearly max Thel on the side of my team. All right, so we'll fast forward a bit. Okay, see how this plays out. So you've got a somewhat standard 3-prong, certainly a heavier west for Paris' team, heavier west and mid. Going on the far southern flank, you've got Verminex and it's just Verminex. So he's got a Spider Pack, couple Thel, and a Dwarf. So just looking at the strategy, I would say their plan here is to be aggressive mid with Monty and Kroon, to be aggressive south with Adren, and Paris on the Spider Pack with the Dwarf, and then just do a little stall hold flank here on one. Similar split on the side from my team, almost exactly the same. An even lighter south from the looks of it. So we've just got Blade. Ours is coming this direction, so it looks like he'll be in a position to help out. Blade rushing the Spider Pack. So almost a mirrored strat. Now that Adren is crossing into mid, it is pretty much exactly mirrored. At this point, mid... you would think that Paris' team has a pretty significant advantage if these teams choose to fight, because they've got Monty, they've got Adren, they've got Kroon. So altogether, that's 56% of their army is mid. On the name changer side, similar percent, is particularly as Donsky starts to come in. So you see that these strats are continuing to sort of mirror each other. Pretty standoffish. No team wants to commit too much. I would like to see, if I was Paris' team, I would like to see Adren and Monty push a bit. We've got a stall flank with the Spider Packs here. Similar on this side. Verm's Dwarf is pretty far away. So let's keep an eye on that. Carbon Donsky are not going to take this hill. So they had a window, I think, where they could really have driven Arsenic off this hill and taken position. They don't do that. Adren starts to move a bit. Now Monty's reacting to our flank here. So, again, I would say just freezing it 100% to 100%. Mirrored Spider Packs up west, not much is going to happen. Zell can match up with Adren. Adren does have one more archer, but we have more melee here, so he's under threat of being rushed. Both Forest Giants are mid, but there is pus, and there's a dwarf nearby. I will point out, these dwarves do have 8 satchels, even though they're normal dwarfs. That makes them a hard counter for Forest Giants, because if you slap a Forest Giant, it's pretty much one hit to death. It just absolutely blows your unit up. There's no heals, so FGs are going to have to make a point not to do that. So Drin is now pushing. I think this feels a little bit late, because now he has no support. He's still okay. With the Forest Giant and the Dwarf and the Pus here, I don't think he's at real danger of being rushed. He is getting pinched a bit, so it is going to force him back. Oh. Wow. Looks like Verm had a Pus Skull die there in the middle of his spider pack. So good job to Spoon and to... also actually didn't even need his Pus. So totally wiped out Verminix's flank, which is going to make this hard. That basically gives us this tag and priority onto 9 if they take long enough. But not a significant enough advantage to really swing the game one way or the other. Paris is pressuring 5. Not really much danger of taking it. Adrin continues to press up a bit. Kroon threatens to come slap this Donsky Karma flank. Without a Pus Skull, he absolutely could. Luckily, we have 2 in this area. Monty is doing a decent job. I think he could be more aggressive, much like Adrin. He has an archer advantage. So when you've got this Forest Giant in your area, I think you can really try to push this. Because at this point, BA needs to find a fight they can win. Small misplay. Kroon loses some spiders to Thel. I don't think that matters much. Adrin is now falling back. While we're rushing mid, Captain unfortunately gets his dwarf pus. He really didn't need to be mid. They'd already given that flag up. So if the Forest Giant leaves, Adrin's pushing to the side. You'd like to see Captain either back up or go over to support Adrin. Ours is threatening the rush, but there's really no way you can do that. Zell is getting whittled down a bit, as you'd expect with one less archer. And not much else happening elsewhere. So just from memory, a couple important plays here. So mid gets rushed on the side of Kroon. So Kroon racks up quite a few Thel kills here. However, he does use his Pus on Tiri and this grouped up Thel. So Tiri simply counter pusses. We've got some archers here. Fire arrow from Donsky. So Karma and Donsky are really pushing Monty hard here. He's out of position. Unfortunately gets bunched up and takes a Pus that pretty massively chunks him out. Meanwhile, Kroon's Forest Giant is losing a lot of HP. So really good trade for us. Even though the percents are even, we now have about a 25% health lead. Donsky does a little bit of a counter... Monty does a little bit of a counter rush here on Donsky, which is enough to make me pull back along with the threat of Kroon. Donsky does a really good job of falling back and not dying to the Cell Rush. At this point, Kroon runs in, unfortunate position, gets Pus, and at this point, the game's just over. Monty is dead. Kroon had used his Pus mid to get some Thel kills, so there's no answer for the FG. All of our Thel packs survive here. Donsky, I think, loses maybe one archer. And like I said, from that point, not much to say. Adrin's still holding strong here. Good job on him on not dying. He wasn't able to do anything. So, I think Captain could have done a better job supporting him in that area. I think he could have been a little bit more aggressive early, potentially. But all in all, hard to fault him for this one. I do think, big fuck up from Verm, pussing his own spiders. Unfortunate play here for Monty and Kroon. I think it was well played from Donsky, and the biggest thing there was that Kroon had already used his Pus. If Kroon saw his Pus and Forest Giant health is even, I think he's able to counter Pus me, as a for instance, or Donsky as he's retreating, and save his other Pus to hit Tiri. As it is, didn't happen. Everyone gets slapped, Kroon dies, and on most Forest Giants, if that happens, the game just ends. All right, so with that, the game score, match score, is now 3 games to 2 for my team. We'll give Tiri the MVP of the match. 49 damage, 18 and 2 ratios is quite good. I think Spoon, Donsky both did a good job on their flanks. And then really Zell, Ars, and Blade did an excellent job of stall, not fall. Only 2 losses for Zell, 0 losses for Ars, 0 for Donsky, 0 for Blade. So it's a great job preserving units all around, and I think it was a good game for our team.